Bulls now lead 84-70. The trophy presentation will take place on the floor here at the United Center. The Michael Jordan comeback will be completed. Here is Jordan kicking it out. Pippen. We are just under 1 minute remaining, and the Bulls will have won their fourth title. And they are now down to the final 21 seconds of this 1995-96 season.
Chicago Stadium, the old building, one of the loudest in all of sports. The United Center, I think, has finally come of age. They have reached the level with this crowd, and they played a major part in this victory.
Yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella cream. Smoking hella trees, yeah, smoking hella dream.
With Michael in just a few moments, and I would think there is a tie-in with his late dad on this Father's Day, 1996.
In '63, he entered the set.
And the four-time NBA champion, Chicago Bulls. And now let's go to Ahmad Rashad, who's with Michael Jordan.
All right, thanks, Bob. Michael, I know that the first one was said, Michael, that of all the accomplishments that you've made, that this may be the accomplishment. Why?
Well, this goes right up there to having my kids. My kids are the most important things to me, my wife, my family. But next to them, this is going to mean a lot to me because of what it symbolizes, which is my father on Father's Day. It means it means a big deal to me.
Now, you remember just a couple years ago that early flight to Indiana where it all started. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like this is a culmination.
It's been a long road. You know, it started from scratch. You know, I had a lot of support from my teammates, from my family. I'm just happy for the city of Chicago. I'm sorry I was out for 18 months, but I'm happy I'm back to bring a championship back to Chicago.
I know this is what you're pointing for, but as we look back at the baseball, we were talking the other day that you've almost forgotten about that. Seems like years ago.
I haven't truly forgot it. You know, those minor leaguers meant a lot to me. They really got me back on the road of thinking basketball. They showed me the genuine attitude that you have when you're playing a sport that you truly love. So I give a lot of gratification to the minor league organization, the White Sox organization for giving me that inspiration. But it's always great to come back and play in Chicago.
All right, Michael, congratulations to you on a great year and way to bring it to a win.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. I'm here with...
So the Chicago Bulls, with a record-breaking 72 wins in the regular season. In the playoffs, they sweep Miami. They beat the Knicks in 5. They sweep Orlando. And they take the Sonics in 6 for their 4th championship the last 6 years. Back with Scottie Pippen in a moment. To Chicago, poignant moments for Michael Jordan and his family as The Bulls over the Sonics to take the series in 6, and one of the Chicago heroes this evening. And Seattle with their first trip to the NBA Finals since they won the championship in 1979. A 64 regular season, 64 win regular season scenario for the Sonics in the playoffs. They beat Sacramento, swept Houston, beat Utah in a grueling 7-game set, and then came back against the Bulls but lost in 6. We'll be right back. For the Chicago Bulls, the composite record for the season, 87 wins and 13 losses, including the playoffs. Tonight, game number 100. There is symmetry in that as we conclude this NBA regular season. The chairman of the Chicago Bulls is Jerry Reinsdorf. Many questions will be facing Jerry in this offseason, and he is with our Jim Gray.
All right. Fourth NBA championship when we continue our coverage in just a moment.
I just had a lot to think about.
We're going to switch right now to Michael Jordan.
I mean, this has been a very, very special year, and there's no way you can really describe it.
From the time you came back 15 months ago until now, was there any, you mentioned before it was a long road, was there any point along that road where you thought that maybe you couldn't get back to this moment?
I never doubted that I couldn't get back to this moment, but it was some days that was harder than others. The motivation wasn't quite the same. Maybe a day just emotionally I didn't feel as secure or as confident as I've been in the past. But I mean, what made the difference is my family support, and my friends' support, my wife and my kids. I mean, my wife pushed me every day. I mean, on days I didn't feel like getting up and working with my trainer, and she pushed me. She set the alarm clock and made sure I got up and I went down to work out, and it's the gratification of those days. I mean, and I had good days. Don't get me wrong. Most of the days were good, and when I looked at my teammates and the lack of success a lot of those guys have never had, that was part of my motivation to do whatever I could to be a leader to this team, to get to where a lot of them had dreams of getting. And I'm just as happy for those guys, so that they can go out of their career as champions. No matter what happens from this point forward, you can't take a championship from Randy Brown, from Judd Buechler, and even Jack Haley, and Luke Longley. All these guys who have bounced around from team to team, and now they have finally got to a situation where they have played in the most ultimate dream of playing in the NBA, and that's for a championship and to win.
Michael, what would you say was a pleasant surprise to you this year? Something you didn't expect and it came through and made it seem better?
I guess the pleasant surprise was the way that we all have gelled together. It was no animosity. There was no bickering. There was no jealousies. We knew each and every individual was going to be judged differently. And I think that's what Phil's credibility has been, is that he's been able to, blend everybody together where no one feels different than the next guy or envious of the next guy. I mean, and that was something that I was very leery of coming into this season, especially with Dennis. And I think Dennis he dedicated himself to come and help this city win another championship. And to his credit, he's done a good job in mentally focusing himself not to be too much of a diversion, not to say he wasn't a little bit, but we've been able to maintain a certain focus, and yet we have accomplished this dream.
Michael, you're marveling at what y'all have accomplished, but I remember October 22nd and 23rd when I came to you and asked about the possibility of winning 70 games. I thought you would laugh me out of the locker room, but you didn't. You said that you all could, and can you think back and why you had that hunch?
I think everything's a possibility. I'm the most positive thinking guy that you can see, and when you said that we could win 70 games, I certainly didn't think negative. I thought that, we could, but it'd take a lot of things to go in our way, and I never pushed it on the negative side, and I just said that it's going to take game by game, day by day. We can't jump ahead of ourselves, and but I didn't focus on it that moment, because I knew it was a lot of work to be done, and we did put a lot of work into this.
Mike?
No, it's not a good comparison. I mean, you guys are going to do all the comparisons, but this team is very amazing that we have come together and and in such a short amount of time and accomplish a major feat, and then, to compare it to the 3 championship years where that team was some sort of a family and we were together and went through a lot of disappointments before we accomplished, the 3 championships. That's an unfair comparison.
Mike, if you stay together next year, can you see anybody beating you? Can you promise to repeat now?
I don't do promises of repeats. I think I like to see us together so we can win another championship. But
Mike, now that it's over, will you soon address the sweatshop issue?
Sure, I will. I will sit down with Nike and we investigate it and we will address it. But
do you feel that you've been used?
I can't say that. I mean, I can't say that without really investigating, my participation and my involvement and what's happened from a business standpoint. I've been focusing on this, and I will give myself up to thinking about, things other than this after the, from this point forward. But I can't give you a comment on that right now.
Michael, do you believe you will definitely be back here next year?
I believe it. I'm very positive. I believe we'll be back. I did say we. That includes Phil and hopefully Dennis. And me. He's not going nowhere. He's not going. He's one of the reasons I came back. If he leaves, I'm leaving again. I hope he's around. And as much as I admire Sean Kemp's ability, I'm just so happy they didn't make that trade. If they made that trade, no telling if we would have been here and if I would have been here. And a lot of people doubted Scottie Pippen for a long period of time, and he's becoming like a little brother to me. I'm very happy that he'd come back today and answer to a lot of the critics that kind of criticize him. And to his credit and to the work that he's done, the 18 months that I was away, I'm very blessed to be a part of his team and seeing him grow so much in the last 8 years is truly a blessing for the city of Chicago and certainly for me.
Michael, how much did Ron Harper help you tonight?
Ron, I can't say how much Ron is meant to this team. I mean, he was very disappointed last year when I came back because it kind of pushed him to the bench and he really didn't feel the involvement. This year he geared himself he worked out all season, off season to get himself into the game and a more integral part to this team. And tonight I think he showed his importance to this team. He played extremely hard and he's our glove. He's our mitt. He may not be a glove, but he's a mitt. And I'm very happy that he's bounced back. I know he's going to have surgery sometime soon on those bad knees, but he fought through pain today to help us bring this championship here to Chicago, and I'm very glad that he was around.
Scottie, when you were a kid with the team, did you think Jordan was a pain in the butt?
When I was a kid?
A couple of years.
No, not at all. I've always respected and admired Michael's game, and I've always tried to pattern my game after Michael, as well as a lot of great other players that played the game. But, Michael's brought me along, as he said, like a little brother to this game, and I've learned a lot from him by being his teammate.
Am I assuming right that this championship probably means a little bit more to you because you were here during those 2 years between the three-peat, and you saw the team go down, and now you're back on the mountaintop?
I mean, the comparison is pretty close. I have to say winning 3 titles in a row back in the 91, 92, 93 season, it was very special because, we felt like we had did something that no other team has done. But to bring this team together in one season, to bring back Michael, to bring Dennis here, this is very special because, I think we all, as players, as individuals, had a lot that we wanted to prove and that we wanted to show the world that, we were still the greatest team. Chicago deserved the championship, and, we've been dedicated all season of going out and trying to win every basketball game that we played. And believe me, it's a heck of a job to go out and win the number of games that we won. Our basketball team deserves a bow, a hats off, because it was a very frustrating, very tough season. But, we dedicated ourselves to coming out playing with pain, playing with injuries, and it's made the difference. And we're just glad to be able to cap this season off with a title. Our crowd was a big part in today's game. I mean, they helped us to lift our defensive pressure up, the intensity. And I got to say, playing in Seattle is probably the second loudest arena that I've ever performed in. And we didn't perform very well once we allowed their crowd to take over and be a part of the game. And, you know, I think our crowd today really made a difference for us. They really gave us the lift that we needed. And Ron Harper came out knowing that, you know, we needed his help. We needed his defensive pressure on Gary Payton. If it was the difference in the series, was our crowd.
Scottie, what was your reaction when you heard from Harper this morning that he was going to play?
Well, I pretty much knew after Game 5. You know, I told Ron with 3 or 4 minutes left in the Game 5 that, you know, Ron, if you want us in this series, then you got to get yourself well and come out and play. And, you know,
that's Scottie Pippen talking about the game. And now let's go to John Kelly, who's with Jerry Krause, who tonight was cheered by the crowd, John.
And that's a great team.
Number 4, and when the scoreboard finally read and the Bulls walked off, the final numbers were Bulls 87, Sonics 75, and the Bulls are partying the night away.
You know, I just had a lot to think about, you know, and maybe my mind wasn't geared to where it was, and, you know, but I think deep down inside it was geared to what was most important to me, which was my family and my father not being here to see this. And, you know, I'm just happy that the team kind of pulled me through it, you know, because it was a tough time for me.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. And Michael Jordan, he's the other guy out here. He helped win that ring for Steve Kerr, but Michael Jordan, he owns 4 championship rings, and right now he's in there celebrating, hugging the trophy again, reminiscent of that first celebration when they beat the Los Angeles Lakers. He was in complete tears. Now a little more composed, but Mike is still the man.
John, I have to think on Father's Day that this is a very special moment for Michael Jordan. I know that he did not speak to the press prior to the game. He was very much in reflection. He was composing himself. And he even admitted that thoughts of his father on Father's Day came to him, and he told us earlier that, yes, he thought of his father looking down on him and thinking that he was enjoying this moment.
A very special day for Michael Jordan in more ways than one, and what a year he has had. Came back from baseball about 18, 19 months ago, finally proved he had a step. You know, after last year, a lot of people thought, I think Michael's kind of washed up, but he went out this summer, got everything back together, worked harder than he's ever worked, and he came out, let's see, season MVP, All-Star MVP, NBA Finals MVP. What more could he ask for? Scoring champion. If there's any doubts that anybody had before this season, I think they're all gone. Dixie, we'll have a little bit more from you in just a second, but right now, let's throw to the break. We got to do some business while we're out here, still getting things rocking and rolling, but hang around. Dick and I are back with more.
Learn from your mistakes. So what I'll try to do now is take a lot of the mental stuff home with me and try to build on it. You know, I think I became a much smarter player out there on the basketball court. And my decisions became much better, and that was really important to me. That was like the next level to take.
We turned the ball over too many times against this team, and you can't win. And that's what we didn't do in Game 4 and 5. When you turn the ball over 20 times against this team, you know they're going to win.
They're starting to take it away from us here, rising it back up to the top of this little video scrapbook they have flashing behind us here at the United Center. Dixie, that's pretty cool.
That was awesome, Johnny. It was an awesome moment. Recapturing those moments so immediately. I love the scene of all the guys standing up on the scorer's table together with their new championship shirts, these shirts they got, just standing up there, just
saying, we are the champions
of the world. I won't sing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, stick to broadcasting. But let's flip coins here and flip it to the other side. The Seattle Supersonics, we heard from Shawn Kemp and Gary Payton. I mean, this young team proved a lot this season, got through that first round to begin with, then avoided getting swept and put a little fear into the Bulls. One thing I really liked there at the end, Shawn Kemp fought his way into the Bulls locker room, came in to make sure to congratulate each and every one of the players. That was special, and I think that says how much this team's grown up.
Well, what I thought was interesting was you and I were both in the locker room. It was a jammed locker room. And then here, you were talking to Pippen over here. I happened to be in the middle. I saw Shawn Kemp come in. People didn't notice him right away. Then he just sort of waded his way in. There was a big crowd between he and Pippen. And then all of a sudden, he put his hand up like this. And then Pip put his hand up. And they moved together and clasped hands. It was a beautiful moment in sport. It really was.
I would have to agree 1,000%. Another great moment in sports. We talked about it. Michael Jordan coming back. Well, after the ball game, we talked with MJ about his dream season come true.
Talk to me. You always said you want to win this for the guys that are young and didn't have one. Can you speak about that? I'm very happy for those guys. I mean, you know, they were part of my motivation all season long to see Randy Brown and Judd Booster, even Jack Haley. I wanted to see all of them win a championship so they can experience this feeling. I mean, they've been traveling around their careers to different teams. Now they win a champion, and that means a lot.
How tough was it when you went those 2 games you went down? Everybody's struggling, thinking a little bit, but you guys were able to explode tonight.
Well, I mean, we wanted one win in Seattle, but we wanted to win championship there in Seattle as well. But they played extremely well. You got to give them credit. But we came back here, and we won it here in Chicago, and that's even special.
Michael, was there ever a doubt? You've done your thing. You made the comeback, the struggles, and then all of a sudden you exploded this year, accomplished probably everything you could personally. For you, is this mission complete and redemption complete?
Yes. But, I mean, I'm still on a mission when I get back in this uniform next year. But this year, you know, with all the disappointment that we dealt with last year and the working, trying to get my body back into shape, and then the team adjusting to each other and acquisition of Dennis, you know, this has come out to a complete season.
Tell me about this one on Father's Day. You were able to pull it off, make it all happen. Your father, a person that you've always thought about, he's always been with you through this. You got to imagine Pops is smiling right now.
I know he is. He's in my heart. You know, I was kind of not focused today. I was more or less focused on him and my kids, and this is a special day. But thank goodness I have a team who came in and supported the whole cause and for the city of Chicago.
Michael Jordan, a special way to say Happy Father's Day. And did you catch that, Dixie, though, during the interview? Michael Jordan, when I asked him about redemption and, you know, redeeming himself and coming back, he said, well, I still have things to do when I come back in this uniform next year. That was pretty good.
Well, I think he will be back in this uniform, and I think we all should stop for one moment. I've done this several times with you, John, over the years, and reflect on how fortunate we are to be witness to this incredible athlete and this incredible example of how to handle mega success.
Absolutely. And one quickly, answer this for me. You talked about some of the guys, and Michael said it, that hadn't won championship rings before. The Ron Harper, the Randy Browns, the Luke Longleys, you said that's been fun to watch.
It really has. I thought that Luke Longley grew up.